Tony Gravely versus Geraldo de Freitas. We got minus 185 on Tony Gravely and plus 160 on De Freitas. And we have seen a little bit of action come in on Geraldo as Tony Gravely actually opened as a minus 215 favorite. And now he drops about 20 cents. I'm actually off on that. That's 30 cents that he dropped. Trying to do my math real quick for you guys. So Tony Gravely minus 185 favorite, and I think this is a solid spot for him. So let's go over him first. He was riding a 7-fight winning streak coming into the UFC, capped off with a Contender Series victory over Ray Rodriguez in a great fight. Kind of back and forth, but mainly Tony Gravely was handling that fight. He was having a lot of success on the ground. Ray Rodriguez was having some success on the feet until Tony Gravely decided to turn it on, and he lands a lot of big shots on Rodriguez, drops him, and wins via ground and pound. The Brett Johns fight, that was a very, very fun fight. It's like a grappler's delight. A ton of reversals, a ton of sweeps, and then obviously Brett Johns getting the victory via rear naked choke in the third round. And I believe that's the third time that Tony Gravely has ever lost via submission out of 4 losses total. Sorry, 6 losses total. But let's just take this in. So his last 4 losses: Brett Johns, not bad. Patchy Mix, who's a very, very highly touted fighter who just lost in the title fight to Juan Archuleta in Bellator. Manny Bermudez, very, very high-level jiu-jitsu guy that we all know about. Merab Dvalishvili. And then let's just go back to his even 5th one, Ricky Bandejas. Via rear naked choke. That one was a little bit weird. So that one was over 4 years ago. And it seems like he's made improvements in his grappling. Like he went takedown for takedown with Brett Johns, reversal for reversal pretty much too. But Brett Johns, we already know him. He's a very high-level fighter, high-level grappler. And, that was the first time Brett Johns had been taken down outside of a Aljamain Sterling fight for Brett Johns. So that's a big accomplishment for Tony Gravely as well. But I love his style. I love his style of coming forward pretty much all the time, seeking the takedown. His striking isn't bad either. He's pretty quick on the feet, has some power in his hands too. So I believe he's very trustable on the feet too. And that's where I think that Geraldo would have the slight advantage. Obviously, Gravely would have much more success if this fight was on the ground, as I don't think that Geraldo would be able to keep up with the level of not submissions, but like grappling and transitions and scrambles. I think Gravely would get the better of that. De Freitas has looked good, and there could have been an argument that he won that Chris Gutierrez fight, pretty much, making him 2-0 in the UFC. But here he is 1-1 coming into this fight, and he was actually supposed to fight Jack Shore, and in steps Tony Gravely, but pretty much the similar type of fighter. I think Jack Shore would probably have a little bit better top pressure, but I'd give the slight advantage in terms of striking between Gravely and Shore. I would give it to Gravely. So I think that's something that De Freitas has to worry about a little bit more coming into this fight. But I still like Gravely. I think he's a solid spot here. Minus 185 isn't too bad if you don't want to play the juice on him straight. I think he's very, very parlayable. I think De Freitas has some potential for sure, but I don't think that this is the fight for him to really go out there and show it. Gravely's been around for a while now too. He's 29 years old. He made his pro MMA debut back in 2015, and in 5 years, he's managed to accrue over 25 fights of experience. That's absolutely insane to me, that in 5 years that somebody can put together that many fights. But it really seemed like it was coming together for him before that Brett Johns fight. Again, that was a very close fight too. It was probably 1-1 going into that third round. And Brett Johns is a high-level guy at this weight class. So I think if he's able to go out there and pretty much be on par here with Brett Johns, he should go out there and do some work against Geraldo. I don't think Geraldo has great takedown defense. That's something that he does well himself too, though. He's good at mixing up his Muay Thai with the wrestling, so it kind of catches his opponents off guard at times. But sometimes he relies on it a little bit too much, like the Felipe Colares fight, where he was clearly getting the better of the stand-up, but I feel as though he thought he was in more danger the longer this fight stayed on the feet. But he was putting his hands together very, very well. Felipe had no answer for that, but he kept going for the takedowns and pretty much riding that top control. There were times where Felipe got the reversal, and we saw him spend time on top, and that's where I think that Tony Gravely will have some success. I'd kind of be surprised if we saw Geraldo successfully complete takedowns on Gravely, but even if he does, I trust in Gravely's ability to create scramble positions and pull off either a reversal, get back to his feet, or get a takedown of his own. So I do like Gravely to win this fight. I think he wins it via decision. He has a ton of finishes on his record too, but De Freitas seems like a pretty durable opponent. So I would rather go with decision. I'm not sure if I would actually play either prop here in terms of inside the distance or by decision, but I do like Gravely. I think he's really, really fun to watch. A high-level scrambler, a high-level grappler as well too, and it's going to be very important for him to implement it in this fight against De Freitas. So once again, I'm going with Tony Gravely to win this fight via decision.